Universities function as knowledge catalysts. Safety campaigns to promote Child Safety Seat. Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to News on 2 with me, Amin Carlos. Now, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said universities should function as catalysts for the search of knowledge or be touted as hubs which map academic talent and the development of scholarship. Well, he said institutions of higher learning were platforms for creativity and innovation to fuel the nation's growth, which is why they had been established in all states across the country so that a culture of knowledge could be expanded in a holistic and inclusive manner.
Pencarian ilmu tidak perlu ada penghujung ataupun kepuasan. Ia perlu menjadi satu pencarian sepanjang hayat dan ahli-ahli akademik mempunyai kedudukan yang paling baik untuk memimpin pencarian tersebut. Universiti juga harus berperanan sebagai pemangkin dan penggalak kepada pencarian ilmu atau digelar sebagai pemetaan bakat akademik dan pembangunan keserjanaan.
The Prime Minister said initiatives such as the Service Learning Malaysia University for Society program had provided university students with the opportunity to undertake community service by applying the theories they had learned in class to solve problems faced by communities in need. At the same time, with the Fourth Industrial Revolution or Industry 4.0, academicians are required to possess a vision and need to be ready to adapt to new challenges to ensure that students were not left behind. The Premier said this when giving a speech at the 13th awards ceremony for the nation's academics of Majlis Anugerah Akademik Negara in Sri Kembangan, Selangor. At the event, Tun Dr. Mahathir awarded the National Academic Laureate 2019 award to Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Dr. Zakri Abdul Hamid of Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Zakri, who had served as science advisor to the Prime Minister, was awarded the honour in recognition for his contributions in the academic field. Another 8 academicians were also awarded with Journal Literature Publication Award, the Arts and Creative Award, Innovation and Products Commercialization Award, Teaching Award and Promising Academician Award. And here's our second headline story. The Transport Ministry is looking to increase safety campaigns on the use of child safety seats in cars before it is implemented next year. Now, Minister Anthony Loke Siew Fook said the campaign will feature safety guidelines provided by the Malaysian Institute of Road Safety Research, MEROS. He said the campaign was aimed to educate and raise awareness of the public of the importance of using child safety seat in car.
Tetapi apabila kita kata mewajibkan, menguasakan peraturan, sudah tentunya masyarakat akan melihat kepada satu sudut sahaja, iaitu apakah mereka akan disaman kalau tak guna, adakah kos mereka akan meningkat dan sebagainya. Jadi memang kita faham mentaliti masyarakat kita. Jadi saya telah pesan kepada pihak penguasa supaya kita membuat banyak kempen advokasi, kempen mendidik. Tujuan kita ialah untuk mendidik masyarakat, bukannya menghukum masyarakat. Tetapi kalau kita tak kata, kita kuasakan, tidak ada orang akan ikut. Jadi itu masalahnya.
He added during the early stage, the implementation of the law will be more on observation and advising the public, followed by stricter enforcement. Loke was speaking after launching the 2019 Asia-Pacific Road Safety Seminar organized by MEROS in Kuala Lumpur. The 2-day seminar was attended by road safety experts to discuss on better road infrastructure in effort to reduce road accidents that keep increasing every year. Well, commenting on the issue of children using modified bicycles, also known as basikal lajak, well, Loke said all parties, especially parents, have responsibilities to monitor their children's movement. Loke said parents should be monitoring and be aware of the behavior and whereabouts of their children.
Dari segi undang-undang itu kita belum ada peruntukan undang-undang itu untuk menghukum ibu bapa. Kita belum sampai ke tahap itu. Tetapi bagi saya ini lebih kepada diri mereka sendirilah. Walaupun tanpa peruntukan undang-undang untuk menghukum ibu bapa, tetapi adalah tanggungjawab ibu bapa untuk melihat dan juga menjaga anak-anak mereka.
Lok was commenting on a recent video that went viral on social media showing a group of children dangerously riding modified bicycles. The incident, which is believed to have occurred in Ampang, was recorded by a taxi driver who happened to be passing by. He also said more efficient and integrated enforcement by the police and road transport department is important in curbing road accidents involving children using these modified bicycles. The Terengganu Fire and Rescue Department, JBPM, has identified 193 locations across the state which are exposed to threats of flooding beginning mid-November. And according to Terengganu JBPM Director Muhammad Shoki Hamzah, in case of any emergency, special attention would be given to all these locations, and the department's 17 fire stations are fully equipped with the needed asset, logistics preparations, as well as vehicles which can be used for evacuation and rescue purposes. The locations include 39 villages in Kamaman, 32 in Dungun, 13 in Besut, 29 in Hulu Terengganu, 27 in Marang, Setiu, 21, and 15 other villages around Kuala Terengganu, Kuala Nerus. He said they were located in either low land, densely populated housing areas, or had poor drainage systems.
Kita ambil safety factor bagi keseluruhan negeri Terengganu yang melibatkan semua penduduk di negeri Terengganu. Jadi dengan kelengkapan yang pasukan kami ada dengan pegawai yang lebih kurang dalam 700 orang yang siap sedia untuk digerakkan pada bila-bila masalah sekiranya berlaku banjir di negeri Terengganu.
He said this to reporters at a special media conference after checking on the Terengganu flood preparations at the Kuala Terengganu Fire and Rescue Station. The Terengganu JBPM had also organized flood preparedness training for 3 days in Tasik Kenyir. At the same time, Muhammad Shoki also reminded residents in flood risk areas to be ready to move when instructed and identify their essential items or documents to carry. In the meantime, he also advised the public to avoid high-risk recreational areas including waterfalls, mountain climbing, beaches and fishing activities during monsoon season to prevent any untoward incidents. An update on the floods. Well, as of 9 a.m. today, the number of flood victims in Perak decreased to 484, who remained housed in temporary relief centers known as PPS. Well, one PPS each in Hilir, Perak and Batang Padang was closed after the floods receded. Well, the relief centers in Hilir, Perak are currently housing 268 evacuees in 2 relief centers, namely SK Changkat Jong and SK Dato' Yahya Suban. Meanwhile, in the Korean district, the number of flood victims being housed in 2 relief centers are also reduced to 188. In the Sekolah Agama Rakyat Padang Serai relief shelter, the number of evacuees still placed there have reduced to 28 from 81 earlier. The excitement of a fishing outing for 5 friends turned tragic when one of them was swept away by currents and is feared drowned at Kampung Seberang Tuan Chik, Bukit Tunggal, Kuala Terengganu. Daniel Danish Muhammad Jasmine, 14, was said to have gripped his friend's hands, however, was unable to hold on and was swept away. According to one of the victim's friend, Muhammad Safin Aiman Ropu, 14, at first they did not have plans to swim, but Daniel had coaxed them to swim. The victim's mother, Nur Hayati Ali, 38, said she now only hoped for a miracle to happen and that the remains of the eldest of 3 siblings could be found as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Kuala Terengganu Deputy Police Chief Sufian Sulaiman said the search and rescue operation was being carried out by the Royal Malaysia Police and the Fire and Rescue Department. The Fire Department is currently carrying out a search operation within a radius of 10 meters from where the victim was last seen. The turbulent waters and tide conditions at this time also makes it difficult to locate the victim. Well, 15 houses in Kampung Baru, China in Kuala Lipis, Pahang were destroyed in a fire earlier this morning. Now, Pahang Fire and Rescue Department JBPM Director Nur Hisham Mohammed said no injury or death was reported. According to Nur Hisham, the incident occurred at about 1:05 a.m. this morning. Upon receiving a distress call, 3 fire trucks, 2 emergency medical and rescue services EMRS vans, and a water tanker along with 20 firemen from Kuala Lipis and Raub fire departments were dispatched and managed to put out the fire after 1 hour and 30 minutes. The cause of the fire and total loss is still being investigated. Well, now a total of 120 areas in Gombak and 57 other areas around Kuala Lumpur involving 119,630 registered customer accounts will experience temporary water supply disruption for 23 hours beginning 31st October, which is Thursday. And according to a statement from Pengurusan Air Selangor Sendirian Berhad or Air Selangor, this is due to emergency maintenance work to replace the sluice valve at the Kepong Estate water pool, which is suffering a serious leak. Air Selangor in the statement said it is issuing this announcement notice so that customers can make the necessary arrangements ahead of the temporary water supply disruption for 23 hours, which will begin at 9 p.m. on Thursday. The company's Customer Relations and Communications Department Chief Abdul Rauf Ahmad said the water supply would be resumed as soon as the repair work would be completed and expected it to be fully recovered by 8 p.m. 1st November Friday. Those affected are advised to store adequate water supply for use during the disruption, and Air Selangor will also be mobilizing water tanks, prioritizing premises with critical and urgent requirements. And coming up next, separate the treatment of drug addicts and distributors. Well, now the government will speed up efforts to decriminalize drug addiction, especially among the youths, by setting up a special committee to deal with the issue effectively and comprehensively. Well, Youth and Sports Minister Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman said the committee comprising the Youth and Sports Ministry, Home Ministry and the Chief Secretary to the government was formed on the directive of Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad at a cabinet meeting last week. Speaking at the Parliament lobby yesterday, he said the committee will ensure that this issue can be resolved quickly by discussing how to distinguish between addicts and drug dealers, as well as methods to help them find an alternative to prison sentence.
Pendirian saya dan Kementerian Belia dan Sukan dalam perbincangan dalam mesyuarat Jemaah Menteri dan dalam jawatan kuasa khas anak muda yang dipengerusikan oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri adalah untuk kita, for us to separate the treatment of drug addicts dengan drug distributors, di mana penagih itu bukan penjenayah dan tidak patut dipenjarakan.
Based on the 2018 statistics, there were almost 19,000 drug addiction cases involving young people, which was triple the 6,300 cases involving adults. According to Syed Saddiq, it was time for the government to focus on rehabilitation instead of punishment, as many addicts from poor families were forced to plead guilty and be imprisoned. Well, first, the good news. There has been no reports of any Malaysians affected by the 6.6 magnitude earthquake in the east of Tulanan in North Cotabato, Philippines yesterday. But the bad news, according to the latest updates by authorities, the earthquake had so far claimed 7 lives and caused damages to buildings and residences. In a released statement, the Malaysian Foreign Ministry also conveyed sympathies and condolences to the government and people of the Philippines, in particular to those who had been directly affected. Wisma Putra added that Malaysia stands in solidarity with the Philippines during this challenging time. Meanwhile, Malaysians requiring consular assistance can contact the Consulate General of Malaysia in Davao City. And with that, we conclude this afternoon's News on 2. Top story, universities function as knowledge catalysts. Do join us again at 7 this evening. I'm Muhammad Amin Carlos, and thank you so much for watching.